Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today I am doing a double VR, and the first channel I'm doing a VR for is Drew at the Drew of Vintage Legacy. And Drew is asking us to share a franchise player, and it just so happens that one of my favorite vintage players is a franchise player, and that is a local hero here in the New Orleans area. That is Mel Ott. Mel Ott's a Hall of Famer. He played his entire career with the New York Giants from 1926 to 1947. He was also a player manager for many of those years. He had a lifetime batting average of 304. He had 511 home runs. He had 2,876 hits. He was also a 12-time All-Star, a World Series champion, a 6-time National League home run leader, and a National League RBI leader. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1951. So this Diamond Stars card is my favorite card of his. And he's in the 33 Gaudy set as well. He's got a number of cards, but this one's my favorite. So, all right, so that is Mel Ott. And the second VR that I'm doing is for John, Wade Boggs fan, who's asking us to share our favorite card. So being that I live here in the state of Louisiana, I'm not so much worried about my house burning up, but if my house was flooding because of a hurricane, what's the number one card I would grab if I could only grab one? And I have a lot of cards in my collection. John, I'm sure you've been told numerous times with this VR how difficult of a task this was. So I decided to go with cards that have, the most sentimental value to me. So now, the first card I thought about was maybe the first card that I ever collected in my collection, and how many people can narrow that down to one card. For me, the very first card that I ever collected was this 1987 Donruss Eric Bell. And I don't know exactly where I got this card. I speculate that I got this card from one of my uncles. I had an uncle that played professional baseball. And then I had another uncle who collected cards as a kid. And so I'm going to be sharing some cards with you today covering those two uncles. But so the uncle that played ball would have been teammates with Eric Bell in 1988. And so it's my speculation that I probably received this card from him, although I'm not really sure. So anyway, I could have selected this card, being that it's my oldest card in my collection that, as of the date that I collected it. Or I could have gone with these two cards. So I received these both from my uncle on my mother's side. These were his cards in his collection as a child. And so I thought, well, maybe I could go with these because, family relation and whatnot. And he passed these down to me. And so actually there were 3 1956 cards when I first originally received these cards. There was these two cards. One is a Billy Hoyft, who played with Detroit Tigers, and one is Bob Nelson, who played with Baltimore Orioles. Well, there was another card that I received, and that was a 1956 Topps Roberto Clemente. I no longer have that card, unfortunately. Through my own poor judgment, that card ripped in half, and so I threw that card away. And this has been many, many years since that happened. I had just received these cards, just prior to that card ripping in half, and so I was a new collector at the time. Didn't really know what I was doing, and I didn't even know that these cards were larger than your average size card. So it was my poor judgment and mistake. Unfortunately, I no longer have that Roberto Clemente card, but I still have these two cards. They survived, and I thought about using these two cards maybe as for this VR. But instead, I decided to go with this card. So this is a 1980 Topps Future Stars card of Derek Bryant, Brian Kingman, and Mike Morgan. And as you can see that Mike Morgan is autographed. So Mike Morgan, through marriage, my dad, or basically my stepmother's family, he was an uncle. We called him Uncle Mike. And he played professional baseball. He had the nickname The Nomad. And so this is the card I would pick for my number one top card. If my house was flooding, I'd grab this card and run out the door. But it's because of Uncle Mike that I played baseball. It's because of him that I, started playing baseball at a young age. It's because of him that I started collecting cards. And it's because of him that I joined this hobby. So I owe my love of baseball cards. I owe, my love of baseball in general to Uncle Mike. And, so there's a lot of memories that I have with him as well. As a kid, we lived in Houston, and anytime his team he played for a lot of teams. Anytime his team would come to Houston, we would go to games, and I would get to meet the players, and, I would, get to spend time with the players, go out to eat with them and everything. And so had a lot of fond memories. I'm going to share all these memories in a future video, but had a lot of fond memories of Uncle Mike and of all the teammates of his that I had the privilege and opportunity to meet. And so there's just so many memories that are all balled up into this one card. And so that is why I would pick that card. Anyway, hope you appreciate that, and thank everybody for watching this video. Y'all keep hunting the good stuff, and y'all take care. Bye.